Good evening and thank you for joining Daily Politics. On this program, we discuss politics, policy and governance. I'm Hamza Idris. Yes. As the Nigeria Education Loan Fund launches the application portal on Friday, the long-awaited student loan program begins with 1.2 million students in the federal tertiary institutions across the country. However, there are a lot of concerns over the effectiveness and implementation of the loan scheme, which is interest-free. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has repeatedly opposed the idea of the student loan initiative, urging the federal government to substitute the scheme with scholarship grants instead. While Nigerian authorities believe loans for students is the way to go, President Joe Biden of the United States on Wednesday announced the cancellation of another $7.7 billion in student debts for 160,000 borrowers, bringing the total number of people to benefit from this debt relief push to 4.75 million. And tonight on Daily Politics, we will be dissecting the Nigerian student loan scheme and its workability. Amid this economic hardship and lack of job opportunities, will the student be able to repay the loans 2 years after completing their National Youth Service? We hope to hear your thoughts on this issue through a dedicated telephone line as the discussion commences. And here in the studio, we host the chairman of the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, University of Abuja branch, Nurudeen Yusuf. Thank you for joining us. And of course, welcome to our studios.
Thank you so much. Good evening viewers, good evening Nigerians.
Yes, and elsewhere, a bill seeking to revert to the all Nigerian national anthem has passed a second reading at the Senate. The bill seeks to replace the current national anthem with the old one, which was adopted on Independence Day on October 1, 1960, but was dropped in 1978 by the then military administration of Olusegun Obasanjo. And Nigerians are still asking whether this is really a priority at the moment or is just a distraction by the powers that be. Well, before we go deep into the conversation, let's take some tidbits. Emir Muhammad Sanusi II has received his reappointment letter as the 16th Emir of Kano, despite an existing court order to the contrary. The Emir, the restatement follows the State Assembly's amendment of the State Emirate Council law on Thursday, which favored Sanusi's return to the throne of the Kano Emirate. Let's have a look at what happened.
4 years ago, he was dethroned and exiled from Kano when his emirate was divided into 5 kingdoms under the now repealed Kano Emir's appointment and deposition law. In a colorful and festive celebration, Emir Muhammad Sanusi II has returned to receive his reappointment letter as the 16th Emir of Kano, replacing Amina Ado Bayero, who has been dethroned by the state government.
In consonance with the Kano Emirate Council's referral law 2024 and supported by the recommendations of the Kano Emirate Council's kingmakers who are here with us, I, Governor Abaki Yusuf of Kano State, have the singular pleasure to confirm the appointment of Sanusi Lamido Aminu Sanusi as the Emir of Kano and the head of Kano Emirate Council.
While presenting the reappointment letter, Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf confirmed that the Emir Sanusi's reinstatement followed a bill passed by the State Assembly, which he subsequently signed into law, paving the way for the reorganization of Kano Emirate.
Your reappointment to the coveted throne of Malang Ibrahim Dabo was guided by our collective and careful judgment about your competence, credibility, proven intellect, and your popularity, not only in Kano State or Nigeria, but across the globe.
Receiving the reappointment letter, Emir Muhammad Sanusi II assured the governor that he will do whatever it takes to restore the glory of the Kano traditional kingdom. He expressed his gratitude to the governor and the people of Kano State for their prayers and patience over the last 4 years since his dethronement. Hundreds of Kano residents have turned out to celebrate the return of Emir Sanusi as the dethroned 15th Emir Amina Ado Bayero joins other emirs in vacating their respective kingdoms.
And the Imo State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal has affirmed Hope Uzodinma as the duly elected governor of the state. In an anonymous judgment on Friday in Abuja, the tribunal held that Uzodinma's election as the state governor complied with the provisions of the Electoral Act. The tribunal dismissed the petition filed by the Labour Party and its governorship candidate, Athan Achonu. Of course, viewers, today we have two topics for you, which you will feel free to contribute. The students' loan scheme. Will it actually take the students to the promised land? And then the national anthem. Is it a priority or not? We will open the telephone line in the course of this program so that you will now contribute and shape the conversation. But we'll go on a short break, and when we return, the conversation commences. Don't go away. Welcome back. Yes, Nurudeen, we have two topics, but you've seen our tidbits. Yes, the first one, the handing over of appointment letter to the Emir of Kano. Do you think it will rest the acrimony there and back and forth around the emirate issue?
Well, thank you. Of course, Kano State is back to the news again, or in the news again. Of course, the appointment of the Emir to some political waters is not a surprise, concerning the promise made by the governing party now in Kano State during the campaigns, the NPP. And of course, this history of Kano State Emirates having faced off with governors or politicians is not new. Incidentally, one of the major ones started actually with the father of the current emir now.
Yes, his grandfather.
In 1961, when they had issue with Northern People's Party, then led by late Sardauna, and of course, it led to his resignation or the deposement in 1963, following the reports by DJ M. Mufet, then the provisional governor. Of course, and we also have during Abubakar Rimi, of course, when he also tried to balkanize the Emirates.
During Ado Bayero. The father of the two emirs, Bichi and Kano, who were
exactly. And of course, but Ado Bayero survived anyway, because Abubakar Rimi lost the election, and Bakinzuwo came, Aliyu Bakinzuwo came in, and of course, the coup and everything, and he survived.
Just as exactly it is now.
And exactly, also survived during Abacha regime too. You know, there was very strong indication that the Abacha will actually depose the emir then too. Of course, so it's not new in Kano State. But what we just want is that the people of Kano State should please remain calm. Let's maintain the peace, because we need peace. We don't want any breakdown of law and order, coupled with the problems Nigerians are facing. All
right. Then in Imo, they said the court governor, that was what they were calling him, Uzodinma, especially during his first term, coming. Now he has scaled the tribunal. Will that also lead to peace? I mean, and understanding in him?
Well, the only thing we have for us too is actually to follow the democratic tenets, to follow the democratic process. Of course, if you are dissatisfied with some judgment of the court, what you need to do later is also to approach the court for redress. And of course, this is just the first stage of the judgment. The tribunal unanimously have accepted that he is validly elected, and I hope too he will be able to concentrate on governance of the people of Imo State so that Nigerians can have a breath of fresh air.
Are you surprised that almost every other day, no matter how important an issue is, the next day it will be dwarfed by another issue? Is it because of our size? as a
No,
country?
not really. You see, there are a lot of problems facing this country, and sincerely, our leaders now not be able to address this issue. That is why you see that the moment they try to address one, it bursts at the seams at the other end and things. So this myriad of problems. So it's becoming a country of a lot of drama and activity.
And is it lack of preparedness on the side of leadership? Maybe they are not prepared to be leaders.
I think some of the issues is that the quantum of the challenge, they seems to underrate it, or the problem that the country face and things like that.
Or they give priority to what is less important, something like that.
Yes, too. That also can be. To me, I think it's politics. It's just a policy of distraction, because it's not that they don't know what is important. They have advisors who also feel the pulse of the nation and things like that. But at times to distract the nation, they bring in something to distract when they don't have solutions to the problems, which is more daunting, which is most confronting the country.
All right, now back to our topic of discussion today, which I said earlier that we will open the line later. But I should have your take, especially on the students' loan. But before then, the last time we hosted you here, yes, as the chairman of the Senior Staff Association of Nigeria University of Abuja, yes, branch, there was issue of salary, right?
Yes.
And then the issue of renegotiation, and then the issue of appointment of governing councils. Okay. Can we assume that all this has been sorted out?
No, certainly not. Nothing has been done since the last time we came here, and government is taking the non-teaching staff in the university for granted. And then our maturity in handling this situation does not mean it's a weakness, because there can be a presidential pronouncement for our salaries to be paid since October last year. Until now, despite all assurances, we've not been paid. And this selective treatment of non-teaching in universities is unacceptable. Even just last 2 weeks, the National Assembly also lent their voice and extend their support, and also call on government that these formal salaries of non-teaching staff should be paid, most especially when that of the teaching staff, the academic staff, have been paid. Till now, nothing has been done. Even the governing council, government has to revert itself. They spent 1 year in constituting a council, but just after 3 or 5 days, they have to withdraw the list and ask that there should be a holistic review of that list.
What does that mean? Because for every institution, you have like 5 people, right?
Yes.
Or 4.
Yes.
And almost all the universities.
Yes.
So I don't know. What do you think happened? You are an insider.
What actually happened is that there are complaints from within and without concerning the caliber of people that is appointed into those councils, and majorly it doesn't reflect federal character. But also for us too, as people in the university, we don't want people that doesn't have the good knowledge of what university governance is all about. It should not be appointment for the boys. It not be like political compensations. We want thoroughbred administrators, university administrators, people who have served in university, or who knows and what understand what the university government is all about. Not just giving it appointment as politicians so that they have to compensate people for either working for the party or things like that, because that is the underlying tone that led for this withdrawal of this list, for them to refer federal character. But federal character actually should move to search for credible Nigerians who understand the problem in the university and who are willing to contribute their quota to development of universities, not as a political compensation.
Okay, now to the area, issue of the students. 1.2 being targeted for loans.
The student loan.
Yes. Is it what we want in Nigeria?
Well, for us in the university, we're still watching the students loan with a lot of caution. Of course, because just as our sister union have said, maybe federal scholarship should actually take care of the law. Of course, truly, not every student can benefit from scholarships, but then people also can benefit from loan if they meet the criteria. And we must commend the present administration for bringing in some alternative. But this should not be a prerequisite for complete withdrawal of some form of support in our education system. Because our education system, without proper funding from government, without proper support, can structurally not stand on its own. We need to fund research, we need to fund the universities, and we should not substitute student loan for what government needs to do. It's a welcome development, because actually also it's going to enhance the number of enrollment. It's going to have support for students who are not capable, most especially when government are listening to the yearnings of Nigeria concerning the First Act, and they've made a repeal and try to make corrections where it's ought to do. So to me, I think it's a welcome development. And
okay, we'll ask more on this, but we have a vox pop, to hear from those who stand to benefit from it. Yes, viewers, have a look at the Vox Pop.
According to the chairman ASU, Modibo Adama University Yola Chapter, Jibril Emaude, the scheme may not have the magic word to address the funding challenges for tertiary educations in Nigeria, and called on the government to look for other means to help the students.
As a union, we are not supporting this scheme because, as far as we are concerned, it's a scam. The first question I want to ask Nigerians, particularly our allies, our leaders, the political leaders, is that the same way the leaders before them handle their cases of education? How many people among them have collected loan from banks or from government to go to school? Why wouldn't them extend the same gesture given to them? We have enough resources in this country. All that our students need now is not a loan, but to give them more grants, more scholarship. How can you say you want to give loan to students to go and pay their school fees and other things that they want to do in a country where everything is very hard, in a country where education is not among the top priority list of the government?
On the other hand, FCC residents have expressed divergent views on the loan scheme.
No, I don't think it's good because one point we are macho, and one point before you know it's already filled up. What of us that I don't think is okay, and only federal, even states, we need it also.
I think as a student, in fact, it's supposed to be for everybody. As long as you're a student, you should be entitled to, no limitation.
I think it's something worthy of appreciation because this is the first step, and then 1.2 million Nigerians. I think it's a good step, and then we believe that let's see how this one will run. Then the next batch, that one will include more students, maybe from states and other institutions like that.
This is a very good and appreciable effort of the government. So everybody should support the government, should appreciate them so that they can do more. This is the first batch. The second batch can go to the private sectors.
It's something that I think is a very worrisome thing. Why I say it's a worrisome is because if there's anything that is being set up like this in our country, Nigerian, we don't have people that regulate this thing. We don't have people that monitor these things. And that thing really actually will not work the way we are expecting for it to work.
Nigerians are hopeful that the introduction of the scheme will help alleviate the financial challenges of the people. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Yes, that was Vox Pop to hear what students and other Nigerians feel about the students' loan. Yes, Nurudeen, yes. You had them. We will discuss this more, but you know, we have two topics. The other one, I don't know, should I recite the all national anthem?
Maybe
for us, or to read it, you know? They said, okay, Nigeria we held thee, our own dear native land, though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians all are proud to serve our sovereign motherland. Our flag shall be a symbol that truth and justice reign, in peace or battle honored. And this we count as again to hand on to our children a banner without stain. They call it colonial anthem. Yes, I saw many people, you know, on the social media asking a lot of questions, but the one we are using since 1978, right? They say, arise, O compatriots, Nigeria's call obey, to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith. That labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and might, one nation bound in freedom, peace, and unity. Well, beyond this, people are asking the time, you know, timing. Is it the right time to start discussing whether we should use the colonial anthem or we should continue using the one provided by the military in 1970?
Well, to me, essentially, this is actually a distraction.
A distraction.
Major distraction. Is that what we need? There is an hyperinflation that is hitting up the country. Every day, we hear news about our citizens being kidnapped. Every day, we hear clashes here and there. People can't go to farm. As of yesterday, figures coming from the NBS says that the price of staple food has increased by 140%. Hyperinflation. We are in the season of famine. How many people are going back to farm? These are things that should bother our leaders.
Not national anthem.
Not national anthem. Because also even our institutions too, they are also already threat of strike. Because I know if, for example, these salaries are not paid within the next couple of days or weeks, the whole body of non-teaching staff in Nigerian University may down tools. This doesn't seem to concern our leaders. The issue of minimum wage is also there. NSC has given 31st of May as an ultimatum. We're just some few days away from that.
And people are talking about national anthem.
A colonial national anthem, which also some of the wordings of those things has those has those undertone of colonial mentality there. Whether given by military or not, I think what we design by ourselves is bad, and there's nothing wrong with this current anthem. What about the second stanza of the anthem? Why not also advance to that? Thinking of reverting us back to a colonial anthem that dates back as far back as 1960.
Okay, Nurudeen. We'll continue to discuss this, and viewers, this is the time for you to call and share your thoughts on the 2 points of discussion: the issues of student loan and the proposed readoption of the old national anthem, which passed the second reading at the Senate. Over to you as we await your calls. Now, on the student loan, Nurudeen, yes. You know, we said it earlier that just a few days ago, President Biden, you know, he cancelled another 7.7 billion. If you convert this into naira, it's really huge. You know, in student debts to 160,000 borrowers, and this brought the total number of people to benefit from his debt relief push to 4.75 million. Why do you think he wrote up the debt, for students there?
Yes, of course. Nigeria is also one of the few countries in the world that have joined this students' loan initiative. Of course, we also have something like that in Uganda, in South Africa, to just mention some few African countries. Of course, we have to look at our own peculiarity, like the American society too. Of course, maybe after graduation, which this new enactment law, the repeal and the reenactment 2004, which was just signed by President Tinubu on the 4th of April, has also envisaged. Of course, in some of these loans, some people may not be able to pay back. First, on our own part, they made the loan interest-free. So you just have to pay back what you collected.
They said 2 years after NYSC.
Repayment starts 2 years after NYSC.
But will you have the job? Anyway, we have a caller here. Nurudeen. Let's take our first caller on the program, the person of Paul from Nasarawa. Welcome to the program, Paul.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening.
I'm Paul from Nasarawa Street.
You are welcome. And which of the topics you want to contribute to? The student loan scheme or the national item?
First, I want to begin from the student loan.
From what? The student loan. Okay. Go ahead.
Student loan. Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, student loan to me is a welcome idea. But the process of giving the student in the federal institutions access to the loan before the students in the state universities and state institutions. Nobody is more Nigeria than the other. If you want to give an opportunity to the Nigerians, everybody is equal. The federal institution cannot contain every student in the country. Open the door to everybody at the first instance. That is number one. Number two, the criteria in assessing the loan. I don't know, we are talking about the building guarantors and whatever. I don't think somebody should be present. We have the BVM of the student. We have the administration student of the student from each of the schools. Number two, given a guideline that somebody must provide the JAMB PIN or whatever. There are students in the National University of Nigeria who they have applied for federal or state university for several times without getting admission. And they also been able to go into National President of Nigeria, who are also students, who are sponsoring themselves, who are not even maybe because they just went there. Why giving us this kind of procedures all of us are here, many people who are there now, we are helpless, judging from what is happening today. So if you want to give a Nigerian loan, open the floor to the students, give everybody an open floor, and then begin from there.
All right, Paul. All right. Thank you. Thank you for your
number two.
Okay. Briefly, on number two, yes. Others are really waiting to come.
Okay, sorry. Number two, on the national anthem, going back to the colonial, is not, we don't need it. What we need now is give us the good governance, make the war salaries are there, the as we threaten to win on strike. That is what nobody needs that with different new colonial. What we need it.
Okay.
We don't need it.
All right. All right. Thank you very much, Paul.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. It's like he's on the same page with most of the students that we interviewed. You know, one of the students said the student loan is just a scam.
No,
I don't know. But the big question, Nurudeen, is you have to provide, you have to have an income. I know in the US, many students even start work or they have vacation jobs where they can save, and then many, by the time they graduate, they easily get jobs. But you can see, despite the opportunities there, many, they are unable to pay the student loan. Are we not really digging more hole for our system that will ultimately not give? Of course, we have another caller before you respond to this, in the person of Jide, who calls from Port Harcourt. Welcome to the program, Jide.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes. So,
good evening.
Yes, good evening. What do you want to contribute to, the students' loan or the national anthem?
The students' loan.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to appreciate Mr. President for that kind gesture to parents and to students, because this provides students, it removes the pressure of where your next meal, your clothes, and your food, your basic needs are going to come from. So it makes it easier for students to focus on their academics. Secondly, people going into the university will not be conscious of the fact that you're going into school and you're going in there with a loan. So you must be serious, because at the end of this, your 4, 5, 6 years academic tenure, you have something to pay back to. Then thirdly, now parents can focus on the basic education of their children, primary to secondary. Then in their 40s, they can save that money and venture into businesses. The reason why civil servants don't go into businesses is because they are training children from primary, maybe 4 kids, from primary to the university level. By the time you're 70, you're still paying the school fees of the last child. But with this student loan, you're 60 years into your childbearing, you probably are done with taking care of children. Then you can invest in businesses, and that will help to grow the economy. So I think Mr. President knows what he's doing, and this is going to help Nigeria to move faster than any other thing. But in terms of expanding to states, I think this is a pilot. It's a pilot study. The government has said we are going to extend to everyone. Then let us see how it works. Let us see the reaction. We have done the in-lab experiment. Let's come in, live and see how it works. And then after that, we are going to expand to everybody. I think state governments can also key into this. Individuals can key into it. It's something valuable.
All right, Jide. Thank you very much for your contribution. Jide is with you, Nurudeen. Well, it's not really a bad idea, and we should experiment and give it a chance.
Yes, I agree with Jide. And of course, you see, the idea is this. If there is no student loan, you may have run into a number of students who actually either drop out of school or are not able to get into universities or even polytechnic college because they cannot afford the fees. We have a pool of that. And you know what it means? We are losing trained manpower or possible trained manpower. But the student loan will actually increase enrollment rates, people were able to pay for themselves for school, and of course they also know that they are indebted to their country by paying back those 2 years. Of course,
how can they do that? If you look at the unemployment
I will come to that.
rate.
The act does not say you must necessarily have to pay 2 years post NYSC. Of course, you've gotten a moratorium which you can apply for extension if you're able to give evidence that you are not yet employed. So it's not as if automatically you start paying, because of course if there's no income, where will you pay from? And of course, even the act to also give room for people that maybe due to some natural acts or deaths, they are actually pardoned from the loan they incurred. But generally, I think we need to give this a try. It has worked in other countries, and Nigeria should not be an exception. But of course, we need to monitor it. Governance should be very strict. It should not be for selected people. It should be truly what it is. It should be given to all Nigerians who are eligible.
Okay, we have Ismail from here in Abuja. Welcome to the program, Ismail.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening. You are welcome.
Fine. How is everything? How is the work today, sir?
We are fine. On what of the topics will you contribute? The students' loan or the national anthem?
Actually, I've been on the program from the first minute, and I've enjoyed every bit of Mr. Nurudeen. He's on point on both the national anthem and the students' loan.
Okay.
My calling in is to pray to him. May God continue to protect and guide him. We need people like him in Nigeria for the progress of this country.
Thank you very much.
God continue to be with you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much.
All right.
I will appreciate your coming today, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ismail. Ismail called purposely to pray for you, and I hope he will also pray for me and all of us. So, as you said, we should give it a try. Somebody asked whether we succeeded with the anchor borrowers.
Well,
billions of naira, and then here we are, Nigeria. There is no food.
Well, I think why some of these policies fail is that we don't actually follow through what we design.
Okay.
Either by monitoring or by evaluation. And of course, too, along the line, politicians hijack those programs. The first 2 or 3 years of anchor program was excellent. But subsequently, when they see more money, politicians hijacked it, and that is what led to the collapse of the program. But on paper, in policy, and even in the implementation the first year, there's nothing wrong with ABO. In fact, it is a very beautiful program. Of course, we need to strengthen it, improve on it. But of course, you know, in Nigeria, formulating policies and that thing, following those policies through and through.
And this is where the fear, is on the student.
Yes,
Lord.
I agree with you. And that's also why I said that it's not just to leave it on paper. Of course, I've looked at what the way it is set up. It looks fine. Of course, because even the students are some level of verification. You need to put in your admission number, your schools, which your school will have actually uploaded and things like that.
So it's not actually, it will maybe, there will be more prudence in this one maybe compared to this.
Hopefully.
Anyway, we have another caller in the person of Samuel from here in Abuja. Samuel, welcome to the program. Can you reduce the volume of your TV set so that... Reduce the volume of your TV set.
I want to speak. Hello?
Hello, reduce the volume of your TV set, Samuel.
I want to speak on this issue of national anthem.
Okay, good. Go ahead.
I can hear you.
Okay, go ahead. Can you reduce the volume of your TV set?
And if you look at this issue of
I think that is time lapse. Yeah. Okay. Please try and call again, Samuel, and adjust the volume of your TV set or go a bit far from it so that we can hear you properly. He wanted to talk on the national anthem. Will you also say something? But even in terms of recitation, which one is easier to recite, the old or the new one?
Of course, most of us that came in post-independence era were trained and were used to the current national anthem. And of course, I have issues with just even a line of those things, even though tongues and tribe might differ. This is actually accentuating our fault lines, which is what we don't need in this current generation. So even from the wordings too, has and things like that, motherland and Nigeria relative, I think to me, the current stanza of national anthem stands better. And more importantly, more importantly, for now, this is not what we need.
Okay, we'll take Mike, who is also on the line. Welcome to the program, Mike.
Okay, there. Good evening.
Yes, good evening.
It's a wonderful and interesting program.
Thank you very much for this. And
I want to contribute on the two.
Okay, on the two. Okay, go ahead.
The issue of national anthem.
Okay.
I don't think that is what we need now. It's just like changing ECM to NEPA to power holding, yet have darkness everywhere.
Or prison to correctional service, right?
So it's not the issue of name, it's the issue of practice. Yes, it's the issue of practice. The problem of Nigeria is injustice. That's just the problem we have. Nigeria is richly blessed, but the process of leadership is the problem we have today. I want to say that even we have more criminals outside of the prison. I'm telling you the truth. It's not changing the name. What we need to do, put things in place. Put things in place. Let there be justice. Let there be justice. Okay, look at just what they have just declared now. The governor of Imo State is being affirmed. Is it not true? If we can be sincere to ourselves, even the president and the people in the power, you know that let us be honest to ourselves, my brother. There's God in heaven watching us.
All right, Mike.
There's God watching us. People are crying. It's not changing name. Let there be justice. In the area of students' loan, brother, sister, I don't think that's what we need.
Okay,
if we have job in this country, let me tell you, you know that course of 5 years, you may spend 7 years in the school. Do you know this? I have 2 children in the school. I know how much I've spent so far. Are you getting the issue? Look at the strike, threatening federal government schools, strike here and there. A course for 5 years, you may end up spending 7 years. A borrower is a servant. If you create job as it was in the 70s, 80s, 90s, where even primary school students or secondary school will be getting some jobs you'll be doing there, you can take care of yourself. Let the federal government subsidize students tuition fees in the schools. Take care of the lecturers. Build our school facilities. Put things in order. Textile industries, farms here and there. Give business loans, low-cost housing, subsidize transportation. So let there be supply of amenities. This will be easy. This will be cheap.
All right.
I don't think they are doing it, just they are gambling here and there. I'm telling you the truth. You don't need that student loan. Okay, when they come, where is the work? People who graduated see how many years they are looking for work. When would they pay it?
All right.
If you are borrowing, you are a servant. So these two things they are presenting, just like somebody that if you miss the list to buy something from the market, you can waste the resources. That's exactly what they are doing. They are just gambling and touching here and there. People are suffering. Let me tell you, people are suffering. Nigeria will blow. People are suffering. People are suffering.
Okay, Mike.
News are walking around without work.
All right.
People are suffering. The police will not control what will happen if they don't take care.
All right, Mike. Thank you.
People are hungry.
All right. Thank you. Mike he's just lamenting.
It's
yes,
actually
and he's passionate about.
It's reflecting the general feeling among the populace. But of course, too, government cannot solve all the points, but there should be deliberate attempts so that Nigerians can also see that yes, government is actually in sync with the ordinary citizens. They feel the pains and the sufferings of average Nigeria. Things are terrible. Just like the last time I said concerning university system, just to have power on the universities, buying diesel, it costs universities. No university from their subvention can actually power their university alone. Much less to do
you said this, but Nurudeen, do you know something? Some people are saying this is actually a booby trap by the federal government because by the time they give this loan to the students to now pay, the subvention being given to the universities will be withdrawn, that they should become self-sustaining, meaning at the end of the day, the whole education sector
will collapse. Of course, that's why I say in my opening statement that this should not be a substitute for adequate or proper funding of the university.
But will they agree?
Of course. If we
anyway,
want
we have
education,
Mohammed from Taraba. Okay, let's take Mohammed. Welcome to the program, Mohammed.
Hello, welcome. Good evening. How are you doing?
We are fine here, and how is Taraba?
Fine, no much wahala.
Okay, let's have your take.
That we are in blackout. That's not right. We only manage our solar to make this a problem because we are fanatics. We are slowly.
Okay.
Mr. Hamza, I want to contribute my views in depth of the topic that we have presented today.
Okay. Go ahead, sharp, yes.
It appears to me that the federal government just intended to negate the life of the young Nigerians by granting them loans in the means of they to go to school. If we can consider what Obasanjo did the other time, that a basic compulsory and basic primary and secondary school compulsory education. If it is the same federal government that can make that kind of policy and will implement it to the Nigerians, why not? The same federal government will encourage this kind of issues. How many dropout students that we have? Hundreds of them. You people have been always discussing issues of house school girls, house school boys, roaming about the streets, particularly in the northern Nigeria, this issue of Almagiri schools. Please, how can we consider all these people that they should be given loans and go to school? Particularly the federal institution of state, whatever institution, tertiary institutions. So it's as good as, to me, Mr. President and his policy, they have to negate the life of the young Nigerians by giving them loans to schools. At what extent? What are the essence of this both of scholarship, federal and state? I think we have to encourage that we have a free and compulsory education right from primary school, secondary school to tertiary institutions.
Okay.
Because the resources are there. It's very much available.
Okay,
so
Mohammed.
That is the management that we have a problem. That is the leadership.
Okay, thank
That's
you.
One.
Thank you very much, Mohammed. Thank you for your contribution. Yes, Nurudeen, it's like there is serious pushback, especially on the workability of this student loan. Now, many are saying there wasn't enough experimentation. I mean, they ought to have conducted a lot of research so that they will get it right. Because you have maybe some students who are already drawing salaries, maybe as local government workers and all that. Now, by the time you now give them the opportunity, Nigerians, do you think it is going to really favor anyone? Yeah.
Yeah, of course. You see, just like any program being set up by government, initially it's always greeted with some level of skepticism and distrust. It's now for the people that manage this scheme to show to Nigerians, to demonstrate to Nigeria the sincerity of government, the openness and transparency of the process. Of course, we know we've had federal scholarship boards, we have some TET fund scholarships, we have that of PTDF and all other things that government actually put in place. But the underlying problem is still the same. Not enough funding for education. And none is so much. Today we have 61 federal universities.
61
yes,
federal
and we have over 257 universities in Nigeria. But still, we still have low enrollment rate. Some of the issues or some of those things that cause it actually has to do with funding, access to fund. And of course, not all of them can go to scholarship.
But of course, many are saying if you just pay tuition, it's like 20% of what is expected.
The scheme actually is only about 3. It's in 3 categories. You can actually apply for tuition, you can apply for fees or charges, you can actually also apply for upkeep.
Okay, so we have, we lost somebody who tried to call from Jos. So we are saying the repayment period. Yeah, Mohammed said is that we're mortgaging the lives of Nigerians. Michael, who called from Bayelsa, says it's outright, injustice because the resources are there. During the Vox Pop, the guy that we spoke to in Adamawa, he said many of the leaders that are in power now, they got scholarship, they got grants, they were able to, and now they are in power, and the resources are there. Why can't they maybe extend the grants to students so that by the time you now have a lot of or enough job opportunities, it may not be everywhere, but you have semblance of opportunities for the citizens. It will be easier for you to now say, okay, the practicality of the whole thing is there.
Of course, I quite agree with him, but of course also we have to be very realistic.
Okay.
1.84 million Nigerians wrote JAM. That's quite a large number. Do we have enough universities, tertiary institutions that can accommodate all this, assuming all of them pass? Also have conflicting or other also national issues that are very demanding. Security is there, agriculture is there, industries are there. Even if you produce these graduates, where are the industries, where are the
so if you are now to, since we have come to the end of the program, what will you now tell government? Of course, you agree that this law should be there in maybe 2 or 3 sentences.
Yes, of
how
course.
to get it right?
Yes.
And how not to subjugate the universities.
Yes, of course, government.
This should be in less than 1 minute, please.
Okay, government need to increase the trust deficit that the citizens have with respect to all policies.
Okay.
They should increase the level of trust that citizens buy in, and of course too, this should not be a backdoor way in which they are going to introduce tuition into university. It's going to actually be counterproductive. And of course, I must not end this by calling on all arms of government, the Federal Ministry of Education, everywhere, that the 4 months without salaries of non-teaching staff university should be paid without further delay.
All right, thank you very much, Nurudeen Yusuf, Chairman, Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, University of Abuja Chapter, for coming to the program and for answering some of the questions raised by our callers. Yes, and that's a wrap on today's package. We hope you join the conversation and join us next week for another interesting package of Daily Politics. For now, bye-bye. From here, I'm Hamza Idris.